Hello, sixth graders, and welcome back to science. So yesterday we learned about the plant system. So what about a plant makes it so special that it can produce its own food? So today we're going to extend a little bit on that. I looked at your guys' worksheets and I was really impressed with your guys' coloring abilities. So we are going to be doing that a little bit more today, but that's going to be at the end of the period. Really quickly, if you guys have not already done the opener, go ahead and open that up. We reviewed what are three things that goes into photosynthesis. So this is the three things that plants need to survive, and then two things that photosynthesis produces or makes. One of them is something that we breathe in on a regular basis. So if you have not done that, go ahead and do that now. And if so, then continue watching. So we are going to be doing something super similar to what we did on Tuesday when we learned about photosynthesis. And I'm going to be reading to you from a PowerPoint that has the same material that you guys are going to have for your worksheet. So cohort leaders, if you have not already passed out the ecosystems worksheet, go ahead and pause me and do that now. Okay, so this is what your guys' worksheet looks like. You have three separate pages. We have ecosystems, a little article with a question at the bottom, and then the types of ecosystems with another question at the bottom. Your guys' is not in color. I don't want to, so you guys can see it on the screen if you need to. And then we have the closed passage, which is, remember, we just read the article, and you are just filling in the words. There's also a word bank down here if that helps you. So this is what your guys' look like, but I'm going to use a PowerPoint version because I think the pictures help you guys as well. So our first step is that we are not going to fill out any questions yet, so your pencil should be down, and we are reading this together. And then we are going to answer the question, and then we will be doing the same thing with the three types of ecosystems. So page 1, page 2, and then you guys are going to work on page 3 together. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. And we have introduction to ecosystems. So we have what it looks like an Arctic ecosystem here. Polar bears are found in North and the South Pole. So this could either be Antarctica or up in the Arctic Circle up north. Whoa! Whoops. Nope. Give me a second. And we're good. All right. So the first part of our article. Animals live everywhere on the earth. Many animals live in the hot, dry deserts, while others live in freezing Arctic regions. Still, others live in the salty oceans that cover much of our earth, which is about 75% of our earth. So we have our marine ecosystem, we have a desert ecosystem, and we have our Arctic ecosystem. All the things around us make up the environment, which includes both living things, which is us, animals, plants, and non-living things. Living things called organisms. So organisms is going to be something that we are going to be using on a regular basis. So this is something that I really need you guys to make sure that you understand, because organisms is one of our main vocabulary words for this unit. So an organism carry out basic life functions, such as getting energy from food. So that's us, where we eat our food. And then plants get their energy from making their food. So we just get it in two different ways. Growing and developing. So we grow bigger as we age, and then sometimes we shrink, but that's okay. Plants grow as well. Getting rid of waste. So whether that be getting rid of our waste as in when we go to the bathroom, or if we are getting rid of waste through like toxins, like so our sweat, that could also be getting gas exchange. So that means that we breathe out and breathe in different gases. So responding to the environment. So we respond to our environment all the time. If it's cold, I'm going to put on a jacket or turn up the heat. I respond to you guys if you guys are asking me a question. And plants do this as well. So they open up more in the daytime and then they close up in the nighttime sometimes. Some of them do. And reproducing. So we all reproduce in different ways. That could be either with plants where they spread their little seeds and through like acorns, like we said yesterday, or through fruit or through pine cones, stuff like that. So we try to make our species continue to thrive. So we want to make our numbers go up and continue. People, animals, and plants are all organisms. Non-living things are things like water, sun, soil, oxygen, and air. So these are really important. We can't have an ecosystem without these things. Obviously, if we did not have a place to live, we would not be existing. All the things living and non-living in an environment that interact with each other make up an ecosystem. So that means that an ecosystem isn't just the living things, it also means the soil underneath our feet. It means the air that we breathe in. So that is an ecosystem, all living and non-living things. An ecosystem can be huge, like the Amazon rainforest, or as small as a puddle in your backyard. Think about what you see in a small stream. Water, soil, insects, fish, and worms are some of the many living creatures found in that ecosystem. So it can be very small and it can also be very large. Some living things, I'm going to move my face. There we go. Okay, some living things in an ecosystem are too small to see with our eyes, but they are an important part of it too. Every living thing depends on non-living things like sunlight, water, temperature, climate, soil, or even nutrients found in the water. Thus, both living and non-living things make up an ecosystem. So, what is an ecosystem? To understand it better, let's break the word down into two parts. Eco means life forms and the environment in which they live. An ecosystem or a system is a group of things that work together. In other words, an ecosystem is a group of living things that work and live in an environment. So eco, which if you've ever heard ecology, or that just means that life forms and the environment in which they live. So that is us interacting with our world, with our environment. We got a little moose, we got a little bobcat, bunnies, goats, and they're all interacting in the same area with the same type of resources. Oh, I think that I actually went too far, and let's see. Okay, so I did go a little too far, so I went onto that second page. So right now, let's go ahead and pause, and you guys are going to fill out what an ecosystem is. And that is going to be a full and complete sentence. So with a capital letter at the beginning of your sentence and a period at the end. So you're going to say an ecosystem is, and you're going to find your definition that we just went through. So go ahead and pause me. Okay, so now that you guys are done with that, we are going to move on to the 3 types of ecosystem. Let me just make sure, Paul 21 ecosystems. Okay, perfect. I think I'm in the right spot. All righty. Perfect. Okay, so types of ecosystems. So ecosystems come in all different sizes. Like we said, puddle versus the ocean. The Earth is one very large ecosystem, while a puddle is a tiny one. Ecosystems can be classified into 3 groups. We've got one, which is a micro ecosystem. Micro means very small, like a microscope. We can look at very small things. Then there is a meso ecosystem, and then there is a biome. So we're going to take a look at what these 3 things mean. We have types of ecosystems. So a micro ecosystem is a very small ecosystem. The word micro means small. I just went over this. Sorry about that. A microscope is an instrument used to see objects that are too small to be seen by the naked eye. Therefore, a microecosystem might be found under a rock or in a puddle. So that is an example of a microecosystem. Then we have a mesoecosystem, which is a medium-sized ecosystem. These mid-sized ecosystems might be a large lake or a forest. So like that's going to be like Lake Billy Chinook. It could be the Deschutes National Forest. So that is a mesoecosystem. So it might seem really big to us, but in the grand scheme of our whole Earth, it is just a mid-sized ecosystem. So let's think of meso as mid-sized. Then we have a biome, which is a super large ecosystem or even collections of ecosystems with millions of animals and trees and many different bodies of water running through them. So this can be like the whole Sahara Desert. This could be like let's say let's see if they give us an example. This could be the whole of Antarctica. This can be really, really large. And because some of our Earth doesn't always change. So like Antarctica, it is super similar in its climate for the whole continent down there. So that's going to be a biome. That's the Arctic biome. So what you guys are going to do is you guys are going to explain the differences between an ecosystem and a biome. So that's going to be between our micro and meso and our biome. So you guys are going to use these 3 paragraphs to answer your question. It's going to be the same expectation that this is a full and complete sentence. And you guys are going to practice your grammar and your writing. And then you guys are going to answer the close passage. And then once you guys are done with that, you are going to turn it into your cohort leader. And then we are going to move on to our second activity of the day. And you will see me in another video here shortly. So have fun, good luck, and I will see you soon. How do I, just watch me struggle for a little bit. Aha.